Hi, I wanted to walk through the second big thing that I learned on my trip this spring, and that has to do with the relationship between IT and digital and the shop floor. So for the past probably 5 years, I've been having conversations with IT leaders, trying to figure out why is there conflict? Why is this challenge there between systems in manufacturing and what IT does. And these are good people, good leaders, good people trying to figure things out. But there's this tensiousness that's sometimes said, sometimes not said, behind the scenes, almost always said on both sides of the equation. And I got into a conversation with a leader at one of the companies we work with, and he opened my eyes in the conversation to two things. One, I'm going to show you why I think this tension's there. And then in a future conversation, I want to share with you why that matters to Thrive specifically and where we play in the marketplace, which was super helpful for me. So I want to walk through with you where this difference is or why is this challenge here. So the first thing I want to do is just overview that our goal is shared. We have an objective that's shared. Everybody would agree with this on the digital side and the manufacturing side. We want to provide a high quality, good product efficiently as possible to the end customer. Like we want to satisfy the customer need. And the other big bullet is both of these play a critical role in success, both the IT framework, you might say, part of the organization, and the manufacturing. And both of them have limited resources, and all of them have shared shareholder expectations and pressures. So there's a realness to both sides of this equation, and this just kind of opened my eyes. So I hope it does for you. So from an IT standpoint, the comment was made that they kind of do everything for the company when it comes to digital, which, as he unpacked it, was accurate. So if you think about it, they collect the customer order information, they schedule the order to production, they track and consume the inventory, the BOM information, they have lot tracking in some cases, they produce a work order, and then they ship the product, they support the product. All the infrastructure, hardware, software around that is really their area of responsibility. And coming from a guy who's been in operations side of it most of his life, you look at it and you go, well, no, we build the product. But when you look at it from an IT lens, they do provide everything except building the product. So this production of the work order, this was my aha. That is the key piece that then gets sent down to manufacturing, that then they build the work order. And when they build the work order, their focus is to build it to order on time and cost effectively. So they have a major role to do that in the production of satisfying the customer as well. But when it comes to systems, this is the thought process of what they care about. When they build the work order, though, this is what manufacturing cares about. And the mindset of what do I need to manage data in today's digital arena, as well as the digital maturity stuff that's going on, is very different from what IT thinks of. So let's just play that out and what some of this looks like. And then this is a generalization. Every company has a little bit different twist to this, and you might change some wording on this. But overall, if this is the responsibility of IT and digital teams, what they then do is they have certain system needs. So they build systems to support this responsibility above. And those systems have to be very consistent, very reliable, which makes them very rigid as well, but it has to be accurate. So think about delivering a work order to the shop floor. If it was wrong at the beginning, well, they just make it wrong every time. So it has to be consistent. They're also rolling up financial information for the whole company using these systems. So accuracy to customer order, accuracy to financials has to be very consistent, very rigid, and very detailed. And from a reporting standpoint, when they go to report, the information is oftentimes trailing metrics. It's oftentimes high level information they're reporting. It's oftentimes some reoccurring. Every week we get this report and it shows these things. Are we on the right path to hitting what we've signed up for as a company really holistically? And a lot of times that's in an executive summary. So this is a huge task, and it takes a lot of resources in today's world. There's a bunch of security tied around that. There's a bunch of processes tied around that. But from a manufacturing standpoint, they get the work order. And coming from, again, guy in operations, we go, well, we do it all at this point. We build it. So what do we need, though, to build it? What do we actually need to build it, which is outside of the scope? These guys don't build it. They do. So what is that? And if you think about how that flows, they need today's world mobile friendly, quick entry, right? Point of use entry. Speed matters to me at the point of use. I don't want to have to go back to a workstation. They need flexibility, and they have to change, and they have to change fast. We have a new product. We have a special response time, something that's urgent. We have to be able to move things. We have capacity constraints, right? It has to be information in a system that's fast and can change. It has to be owned by manufacturing, meaning I'm responsible for it. I need to be the one that gathers, captures, has the data. It has to fit into the priorities of the manufacturer. And I want to get into this in some future talks, but this is the key thing. What is my priority in order to build this work order well? What is it that I want to make visible to my team to make sure we're building this work order to order on time and cost effectively? Do I know what those are? And this is really the part where Thrive is going to fit in your operation. And then it has to be real-time data. I need to respond fast. Okay, so if that's my system needs, what's my reporting purposes? For me in the operation side, or for the company on the operation side, they're looking at this saying it has to be actionable. I want leading metrics. What's going to help me know something before it happens? And if it does, how do I make it actionable to respond, to assign it to somebody, to close the loop? It has to be visual and flexible. I have to trust the data and have ownership so I can drive the improvements. I need to use that to engage my team. And that's what's going to form my culture, which you probably saw in a previous video related to leadership. And then ideally, I want a one-stop shop in the sense that can I just ask Google and it helps get information to me. So this was my aha, that both of these really matter. They both are true in that they are looking holistically at things, but they're also very different. So if I take and I try to solve a manufacturing how to build solution with something that's a solution that I'm used to using, I've developed, my team knows when it comes to the digital IT world, it's probably not going to be the tool that's going to be fast enough, easy enough. And if it is, I don't even own it, which is why historically, if I have a paper process, right, and I own it, I know the information. I own the information. We keep track of the information, and it helps me drive culture and make change in my area. So this was my ha. Maybe not enlightening to you, but it really was to me. And it especially then helps us and what Thrive does to communicate why do we build the things that we build the way we build them. It also will help us to communicate to IT teams when they say, what are you do? Are you the MES? Are you the ERP? No, we're not neither of those. I mean, the IT and maybe this could be OT, right? They're going to do something, but it's oftentimes developed with this mindset, financials, rigidity, information. So I'll get into more of that in a future video, but hope this helps maybe some teams understand IT versus manufacturing and where some of that friction can originate, and then ways to start to reduce that to actually start celebrating, hey, we play different roles, we need different tools, and let's go win in the marketplace.